look at the 10R80. Yes, we talked about this in the last seminar, but it's something that we found out recently, so I want to go back and revisit this thing, okay? So you're going to get one in that comes in with a PO 7 Frank 7, incorrect gear ratio in 10th gear, and possibly a code of PO 734, which is incorrect gear ratio in 4th gear. But since this thing is a skip shift transmission, we could end up getting a code for any one of the clutches that are involved in the CDF drum, okay? It's a drum that's used widely on that, and I'm going to show you something in a minute, okay? But first I want to show you this. On Ford 2020 6.2 engines and 7.3 that are actually using the 10R140 transmissions have the same exact issue, and Ford released a TSB on that, and the same thing is happening. The only difference is between a 10R140 transmission and the 10R80 transmission is the 10R140 is bigger. All the parts, all the internal components are bigger, but again, they are still having the same exact issue on this thing. Now, I found this on one of our sites and found this bulletin for this thing, so I want you to be aware of, just because you might get a code in, you might think, oh, it's a 10R80 transmission. It might not be, because in 2020, Ford changed to the 10R140. So we can go ahead and figure that this might be the same problem. I just want to make sure we don't price it incorrectly, thinking that it's a 10R80 transmission, okay? As I said, all the internal parts on the 10R140 are just bigger. What I mean by that, this can have a problem in different shift patterns on this thing, because if you look at this thing, the C drum comes on in 2nd gear, D drum is on in reverse in 2nd gear, and the F drum comes on in reverse and then starts coming on in 4th and goes all the way up to 10th gear. So this drum, the clutches inside this drum, it has 3 different clutch packs, and it uses those, anything from reverse and 2nd gear all the way up. So that's why I say this. Sometimes you might get an incorrect gear ratio, and it might not be a 4th gear ratio. It could be a 3rd gear ratio. But since it's a skip shift transmission, we don't know. You know, so it's something I want you to be aware of. Again, this is what happens on this thing. The little aluminum sleeve or steel sleeve and or bushing, if we want to call it a bushing, on the internal part of the drum ends up shifting on it. Okay, I shouldn't say internal, it's on the external part of the drum. It goes over a ring tower. And when it moves, it's kind of far away from the drum step over here, and plus also too, there is this hole exposed over here. And that's where we start to get the cross leak. Also too on this thing is what happens is when that ring is not supporting on here, it gets chewed up because that bushing stabilizes that ring. And when it doesn't stabilize that ring, it kind of grabs only half of it, and as the shaft is spinning around, it ends up damaging it and taking it out, just like this one we have over here. This is a good drum here. See how close that steel sleeve is to this transmission, or is to the outer part of the drum? There's no step, no open hole. This is a good sleeve on this one. So this drum here is a brand new one, and it hasn't shifted.
Thank you for watching. For all confirmed fix videos and unlimited technical support, become an ATSG member, your transmission tech solution. Click the membership link below.